On our show today, Matt Rogers, COO of Lizard SEM.
Yeah.
What's new in the marketing world, dude?
The two biggest changes that have happened is an emphasis on local SEO, its connection to your Google business profile, and your local service ads. Google gives companies like mine access to something called the Keyword Planner. It gives my content writers a trailing 12-month history of keyword search put into the search query.
Intuitively, as a business owner, you can guess at a lot of things, right?
Yep.
Just like you can guess at marketing if you really wanted to, right?
Sure.
But the data is powerful. And when you have historical data that you can use to actually influence what you're doing in the future or what you want to achieve in the future, now you're really cooking.
You might have to take out a loan or borrow money from somewhere and invest it into a fantastic marketing company, because that's the only way you're going to grow.
Welcome to the Bug Bucks Podcast, a podcast designed to turn you into a bug money millionaire. This episode is brought to you by Bug Bucks Plus, the #1 training and education platform designed to help you grow and scale your pest control company. I'm your host, Eric Bassett, and of course, right next to me, Jay Klaus.
Here I am. What's up, Eric, and my Bug Bucksers?
There you are, dude.
Yeah, I'm here. Here I am.
Yeah, man. It's we are recording this mid-July.
Yeah,
it's probably going to drop somewhere in the August ballpark, right? So summer's kind of rolling on, and this week it was, at least for me anyway, it's Bring Your Son to Work week.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I think. So a lot of the listeners probably figured out or have heard by now that obviously our office is in Vancouver, Washington. I have a house in Boise, Idaho. It's where I was born and raised, where Jake spent most of your...
I grew up there.
Yeah, young
we'll
life.
Just say that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I live in Boise and I'm here every other week. And this previous week, my wife, Brinley, went to San Diego on a much needed mom's trip.
Okay.
Yeah. So I sent her to San Diego with Becky, her cousin.
Oh, yeah.
And they got to hang out in San Diego on the beach, which is awesome. And then I got to hang out with my son, Leo, who just turned 8 months.
Dude, he's 8 months.
Oh my
gosh.
Crazy.
Dude, that kid is growing like a weed. And every time I see him, he's doing a new thing. Like he went from crawling to standing up to stuff. Is he walking now?
Dude, he's not walking yet, but he's like starting to stand up on his own, which is crazy.
He's going to have a job in like 5 months.
Yeah.
At this rate, says he's got an LLC already.
Right?
Yes, dude.
Yeah. Well, being Eric's son, right?
Eric's son.
Yeah, he's like, I need an EIN, Dad. Let's go.
Yeah.
So that was last week. I got to spend time with Leo, just me and him, kind of little dad-son time, which was awesome. And then this week, I flew with Titus here, which was great. So yeah, little one-on-one bonding time, which has been pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And my kids get to spend time with their cousin, and it's great.
Dude.
Very cool.
So it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys listening in can hear the guest in the background, a voice that you most definitely realize. But before...
This is his first time on the podcast.
Yeah, this is his first episode. He's real nervous. You guys, be nice to him.
Yeah.
Before we bring him on, of course, want to remind everybody listening, the best way to receive new episodes is by subscribing to our show on your preferred podcast platform like Apple, YouTube, Audible, or Spotify. If you love the show, please leave us a rating and a review. Make sure to check out our Facebook group, Bug Bucks Plus. That is BUGBUX Plus. We've got over 4,300 other pest control owners in that group waiting to connect with you and share their thoughts. It's also the best way.
4,400?
I don't know if we're at 4,400. I honestly haven't checked.
When I go to Bug Bucks Plus on Facebook, it says 4.4K.
Does it?
Dude, yeah. So
really?
we're over 4,400.
Let's do a real time check. See what happens here.
Hang on. Do that?
Yep. Yeah. Real time check.
Look.
Oh, okay. So mine says 4.3K, but it's got to be close, dude. I feel like I'm adding.
Why is it because you have an Android and I have a?
To be honest, I actually think it is.
Yeah. See,
dude, I actually think so.
Eric,
I think
it is. Every time I add you to a group chat, I'm immediately disappointed.
Right?
Yes.
It's okay.
Why is this group chat green? Oh, it's because of Eric.
It's okay, Matt. You made my desire to get an iPhone grow by at least this much. But but that limit is like a few miles long. So you made an
Golly.
impact, but I don't know if it's going to really make a
Android
change.
users and Apple users are just two completely different mindsets.
It's
It's
like the
like when
sharks
you
and the
see a married
jets. We're not
couple.
friends. We're on the
You're
other
right.
side of the town.
Yeah, it's like jets. Do
Yeah.
you say jets and sharks? It is.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you see a married couple, and like one of them has an Android and the other one has an iPhone. You're like,
Oh, that's kind of weird.
this isn't gonna last.
This
Yeah, I
isn't
don't
going to
know- I
work.
don't know
This
about
relationship is not right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one.
Does
is
Brinley
off.
have an iPhone?
No,
no.
no.
No. Okay, you're both Android
And I-
users.
they're
Well, you're
safe.
going to make
I don't
it.
want to.
You guys are going to
get
make
in.
it.
I don't want to get into the crazy world of Android versus iPhone. But here's
We
the
got a
thing.
lot of crazy to get into today
Well,
anyway.
here's what's crazy. I am a MacBook guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, love my MacBook. It is the best.
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Yes.
This is
Love my
hashtag confusing.
I'm a Galaxy. I'm not just an Android specific person. I'm like a Galaxy specific
Why is
person
that
when it
phone
comes
so
to phones.
long? It's like
It is long. Yeah, you can see it, right? Right. Galaxy. I'm a Galaxy phone guy, and then I'm very specific about tech depending on what I'm doing with it. So it's like if I'm doing video editing and other stuff, like, dude, MacBook Pro is the only way to go, right? Got to
That's the
have
only
it.
way.
Ultimate mobile workstation, right? As I'm
Yep.
doing this ad for my MacBook.
Exactly.
Anyways,
Thank you, Apple.
this episode not sponsored
not,
by.
not sponsored by Samsung. Anyway, okay. Before I forget to do this, on our show today, Matt Rogers, COO
Yes.
of Lizard SEM,
Yes.
the guy who has been here over 7 times previously, lots of episodes over the years. We might as well call
So
you
much.
our third co-host, Matt.
I
Yeah.
am. I want a t-shirt, fellas. I really do. When I see you in Denver, I'd like a t-shirt.
You
We
will get
will
it. You'll
have
get a
it.
t-shirt.
Yeah, we'll have or hats. We're figuring that out.
We should just make
Okay.
Matt like a custom tee that says like third co-host.
Yes, yes.
Bug.
It's got to be
Yeah.
VIP, okay? It
We
can't,
need
it can't be
jerseys.
what the plebs have. It's got to be
Yes.
Yeah, the
VIP.
plebs.
So Matt, what is going on in the world
man.
of Lizard? Dude, I feel like you guys are probably freaking slammed right now with it
slammed.
being the busy season. What's new in the marketing world, dude?
All right. For all of our community and bug bucks, you really do want to kind of zero in on what we're talking about here. This isn't clickbait. This has a lot of implications on what you should expect from digital marketing moving forward, how Google is evolving. What sucks about what we're experiencing at Google, because we're so heavily leveraged towards PCOs, is Google is agnostic to our struggle, right? The struggle of pest control owner operators, the struggle of digital marketing companies that are catered to the PCO world, right? It's made drastic changes for how it's going to work going forward in the month of July, at the top of our season as we slowly start to exit our season. And it is going to have huge impacts on all of us for the rest of 2024 and definitely for 2025. So we've talked about it a little bit. I've dropped a couple of episodes about it with the marketing mindset. Here's what's happening. For a very long time, and a lot of the PCOs in the community will understand this tension. People have thought about, I'm going to invest in SEO and local SEO, or I'm going to invest in paid search, right? And everybody can do their own homework, and I'm happy to answer any questions on the wall in the community or whatever. But after this month, basically Google has tethered those two worlds together pretty much indefinitely until they make another big shift. And so what that means is the two biggest changes that have happened is an emphasis on local SEO, its connection to your Google business profile, and your local service ads. Okay. So everybody in our community knows local service ads, LSAs, are usually a little bit more expensive. They're usually a little bit easier to convert. And that's why, right? Well, Google is starting to offer those ads in a second place. Okay. This is the biggest thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. We've got that top row, which is where the LSA ads are. That's the Google guarantee, local service ads, right? And then what's going to happen, according to how optimized your local SEO is and your business profile, how optimized your business profile is, Google's going to start serving those local service ads on the map just below the regular local service ads. Okay. There's
Okay.
conditions that are involved in how and when and why it's going to serve the ad. And it all has to do with local SEO, the content that you are creating. So that mindset is what I'm trying to break with our current clients and partners that we work with, to the people in the community. You're going to do yourself an incredible disservice unless you like really wrestle with what I'm trying to say. If you are not investing in your local SEO, your local search engine optimization, if you're not building content that's informed, I'm going to talk about it. I brought some notes to the show. I've talked about it a couple times now. That's informed and pertinent to what the user is typing into the search query. And if you're not connecting that to your business profile, you're not going to see your ads populate as often, if at all, on the maps the way that it would for other businesses that have been just as diligent about their SEO and local SEO and just as diligent about their business profile. They're going to start to reap the rewards of a new conversion opportunity on page one of Google. It's going to be pretty crazy, actually,
Wow. Okay.
is
So
my
Matt,
guess.
for a lot of our listeners, they've heard SEO, right? I feel like
Yep.
if unless you live under a rock, you've heard what
You don't
SEO
know.
is.
Yep.
But help us understand a little bit more the specific differences between SEO and local SEO.
Yep. So,
That's exactly
uh,
the question I
um,
was going to ask. I saw your
look at
I
hand.
that.
I
stole
saw
it
your
from you.
hand
Did I
moving
steal
like
that
you.
question from
Yeah,
you?
no, that's okay.
I brought up my
I was
magical
going to say
question hand
differently.
where I'm like,
I was going to say, Matt, pretend that I don't know anything about LSA
About
and SEO.
okay.
Asking
And
for a
local.
friend.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So I think the right analogy to use is SEO is like hunting with a shotgun, right? Local SEO is like hunting with a hunting knife, right? Two very different tools that are used to meet the same end. Okay. SEO is really about broadening your scope and talking to a lot of people about the services that your company has to offer, pest control specifically. There's lots of keywords that are important for pest control, and SEO prioritizes those keywords to let somebody who is searching around on the internet for services like yours know a little bit about you. Okay. So SEO is very important.
Wait, pause right
Local
there.
SEO. Yep.
Pause right there. Okay, so
Yeah.
when you talk about keywords, are you talking about like these are keywords that are embedded in your website, like in
Yeah.
blogs that you write on your website
Yeah.
or descriptions of things, so that when people search,
Yeah.
it's finding those keywords somewhere embedded in your website. Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. I'm going to stay. This is so good. I'm glad you asked that question. This wasn't the setup, everybody. Because I want to fold this page down because we have to come back here because not only are these changes happening between local SEO and your LSA ads, right? Also, the changes that Google is using AI, the AI tools is also changing what has to be done for the content that's put on your site. So let's come back to that. But I'm going to answer your
Okay.
question. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
The question was, what are these keywords basically? Think about it like this. Think about it outside of take your business hat off, right? Take Natura hat off, right? I'll take the lizard hat off and
Okay.
pretend my house is messy. I got a house full of teenagers, okay? I went into the bathroom. We had some company coming over the other day, and I just remember yelling from the bathroom, "It looks like a truck stop in here. There's actually a booger on the wall." Like I'm screaming that. And then I call out to Katie, "Katie, we need to get a maid. This is ridiculous," right? And so what did I do? I'm not going to say her name. You know, the robot lady on your phone
Yep.
picked up on my request and provided me with a list of people that might come and clean my house. Okay. In the Mint Hill area, which is where I live. Right. So I'm a part of Charlotte, right? The Charlotte Metro. There's all these subsidiaries. Mecklenburg County is a huge learning community, huge county. Right. But I live in Mint Hill. Local SEO is taking keywords that are important for house cleaning and making it specific to
Booger
the
on the
city
wall.
of Mint Hill, booger on the wall and
Yeah.
Mint Hill. Okay. And the keywords are the things that I gave to the lady in my phone or that I typed into a search query to find that information. Okay.
Okay.
Because Google is a machine that wants businesses like your money. You said we've got 4,300 something if you're on an Android, but 4,500 something if you're on an Apple phone, pest control companies that are here with us in our community in Bug Bucks, right? And so those keywords that are put in there are specific to your company, but they are literally the phrases, short phrases, long phrases, whatever, that people like me are putting into our phones or putting onto our desktop to find a business like yours. Okay.
Okay.
So local SEO focuses on your geographic region, like a cleaner, but in the city of Mint Hill, and it's using keywords pertinent to house cleaning, right? Organic house cleaning, house 24/7. I don't know why you would want a 24/7 house cleaner, right? Pet friendly house cleaning. All these keywords that are important for house cleaning, right? Safe for your family, chemicals, all these things, right? And it's making it about Mint Hill. Okay. So those keywords get planted on your site. Okay. The digital marketing company that you work with needs to be actively posting on your in regular intervals. I don't want to give away too many of my cards, but they have to be posting on your business profile in regular intervals, right? And what
Mhm.
this does is it tells Google, hey, this is a updated business that I can provide to the user, because Google's job is to quickly answer the question of a user with pertinent information. That's how Google gets paid. That's how Google soaks up money like Natura's, money like banners, money like proofs, money like everybody, right? That's how they get your money. They take information, an ad from you, and they give it quickly to the user.
Okay.
And so its quickness is determined by how well your business profile is being optimized. And your LSA ads are going to show up. I know I'm talking a lot now. I'm going to shut up a sec.
No,
But
no,
your
this is what
LSA,
yeah, this is
okay,
good.
your LSA ads are going to start showing up on the map, just like they do on that top row, if you are focused on local SEO. So
Mm.
you can decide Matt's trying to sell us some snake oil, and that can be what's in your mind. But here's what you're going to notice. Okay. I guarantee it. I put money on it. I am a betting man. You're going to notice that companies that are just as diligently working on their SEO and their local SEO, as much as they are on their paid search, are going to accelerate forward because they've got a new opportunity to serve an ad. And the companies that are picking one or the other are going to slowly start to slide into the background,
Mm.
right?
So you're
Because
talking,
demand is consistent, right? That doesn't change.
so it's like having two gas pedals versus one,
Yeah, exactly.
like on a race
It's
car.
another opportunity. Google's going to get every dollar from companies like yours that it can, and this is another way that they can do that. And it's really smart. And we've kind of been ahead of this curve for a little bit. I just didn't even know it. So lucky us.
What's up, my fellow Bug Bucksers? I'm going to take a moment to highlight one of our premier sponsors of the Bug Bucks podcast. Cockroaches have nowhere to hide from Advion Trio Cockroach Gel Bait. This Syngenta solution is formulated to control cockroaches at every stage of the life cycle. With 3 active ingredients, including an insect growth regulator and a chitin synthesis inhibitor, it offers complete cockroach control with built-in resistance management. PMPs can complement their Advion Trio applications with Advion Microflow insect bait, which can reach small voids on cleanout and maintenance accounts as a dry flowable bait. Both products can also be used as part of the Secure Choice Cockroach Assurance Program for proven results.
But yeah,
It makes a lot of sense for a platform like Google, right? Because
yeah,
Google wants to clean up and shorten the line between the consumer and the company. And
yes,
the more relevant that they can find, or to say that the more companies they can find that are relevant to those search queries, the
yeah,
faster that is. So,
exactly.
what can they do to push to force those companies to prove their relevance? Engaging in LSEO, right? Local
Yeah,
SEO, SEO, having updated websites, all this other stuff.
yeah,
It's kind of like LSA. When LSA first came out, Google was like, okay, if we're going to let you guys participate in this program, you have to do X, Y, and Z. You have to jump through these hoops
yeah,
to do it. And for a while, when you were early in LSA, it was awesome, right? You got really good, high quality ads at a low cost. We all wish that was sustainable forever, but it wasn't.
Same. It's not.
Um, but that's the benefit, right? If you
Yeah,
were prepared to do it, you had that advantage for a while. And I feel like this is just the next step that Google's taking, where they're like, okay, we want to have that better connection with relevancy, better
yeah,
connection for consumers and companies.
yeah,
And this is a way that we can incentivize companies to do that, is by showing them another opportunity to get leads.
yeah.
Okay.
So let's stay on this road, because we're actually moving in a cleaner direction than I did even on the marketing mindset, which is awesome. When you take, because that's my show, you'd think I would do a better job there. No offense, but I am of the third unofficial host of Bug Buck, so I'm
It's
here
it's
with you
it's
yeah.
guys.
the bug bucks
It's the
effect.
same.
You know, when
Yeah.
you come
It's
on
the
here,
same.
it's just nice, clean,
Yeah.
It is.
I don't derail anybody. So yeah, keep
No,
going.
never, Jake. You never derail anybody. Okay, so when you're taking that local content and you're loading it to your business profile, you're doing 5 things, and the fifth thing is the most important. Okay, and I want to go back to AI, but these are the 5 things. You're enhancing the content on your profile. Okay. And you need to be doing this in regular intervals, same time of the week, every week, right? And this is because Google crawls through your profiles and crawls through your website in regular intervals, right? So Google's constantly learning, constantly going forward, right? And when you load new content, it is saying, oh, relevance, just like you said, Eric, this is relevant, get it to the user, take the money from the business, right? That's Google's mind, right? The second thing is you're increasing the opportunity for engagement on your business profile. Okay. When people are liking or commenting or clicking anywhere in your business profile, that's another indicator to Google. Hey, this profile is relevant. People are interacting. Let's get this to the user. Let me take this money from this company. Right. The next thing is it's improving visibility of the kinds of services that you offer. You know, everybody in the Bug Bucks community is going to start talking about occasional invaders sometime around October and November, right? And if your content is fresh and you are just starting to talk about occasional invaders as pests are coming in and hiding from the cooler weather, it's going to say, hey, this is relevant. Get it to the user. I'm going to take that money from Nutura, right? But then also you're creating relevance through linking back to your website, right? Your website and your Google business profile should be in contact with each other constantly. So those backlinks tell Google there's some authority here. This is relevant. I've got to get this to the user. But then this is the biggest one. And this is, if you don't mind, maybe a critique I have a little bit for our community, people that are taking some of this into their own hands. Okay. Companies, especially when they get going and they've got to negotiate where they're putting their resources as the business owner, because when you're starting, you don't have a lot of business resources. And I got a lot of grace for that. Okay. I hear a lot of chatter about people that are doing this themselves. Okay. The content that you create cannot be hyperbolic and from your mind, right? It can be, but what makes content relevant to the user is that it's optimized for keywords. So what the hell does that mean, Matt? Can I say hell on this podcast?
said it twice.
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
the
it's a
hell not?
Bible cuss, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's permissible.
Love
Yeah.
it. Paul
If
lets
it's in
me
the
cuss all the
Bible,
time. I was really nervous the first time. Hell, damn, and actually, there's a couple other ones in the Bible. But why? What is keyword specific content, right? Keyword Google gives companies like mine access to something called the keyword planner. Okay. And a
keyword planner.
keyword planner. Yep.
Okay.
It gives my content writers a trailing 12-month history
Mm.
of keyword search put into the search query, right? So a business owner might think, well, right now I want to be talking about ladybugs, right? But for whatever reason, in the month of July, according to the keyword planner, in this specific geographic region, the thing that was put in the query the most this time last year was mosquitoes, right? So
Mm.
this business owner has wasted time creating content thinking they're doing themselves a service by getting it over to their business profile, but it's not informed by the trends from the keyword planner. Okay. The keyword planner is a little bit like reading tarot cards or looking into the future. Okay. It's giving you 12 months of data. It's a dense export, right? Month by month, these are the keywords that are used. This is the volume of each one of these keywords. So it lets you know in Mint Hill, North Carolina, these keywords for pest control were used the most. So content needs to be created using these keywords. Okay. That content using the city of Mint Hill, streets that are located near me, shopping centers that are close by, or events that go on in our city, like a Mint Hill Festival or something like that, right? That's going into this content. That's what makes the content good according to Google, because it's informed by the keyword planner. Okay. So you create the content, you load it to your business profile, and that's the fifth thing that Google used to say, hey, this is good. Get it to the user. These owner operators, no offense, I love you all, I do. But these owner operators that take it into their own hands and think they're doing a good job and they're getting whatever, especially when they start talking about KPIs and things like that in the chat, they're missing the biggest part of the tool for content creation, and that's the keyword planner. It's our most valuable asset as any digital marketing company. It's the thing that they rely on the most for creating content.
That's your
And so if
secret
you're
sauce.
not, that's a secret sauce. If you're not, not just Lizard, for everybody, every company that creates content, if they don't use the keyword planner, then they're idiots and you shouldn't work with them. It's incredibly valuable. But those 5 things: it enhances the content of your business profile, increases engagement, improves visibility, it builds links to your website, and it's using keyword rich data from the keyword planner. All of these things tell Google, and it's happening in regular intervals. All these things tell Google, very important. This profile is important. Somebody's going to click. If we serve this, let's put an LSA ad on the map. Somebody's going to click that ad and they take your money and you get a new customer for that $60. If that customer stays with you for X amount of years, you just made $3,000. That's money well spent.
So is this a ramp up? Like what kind of ramp
No,
up period? Or is it like just like you
LSAs.
plug this in and
Well,
it just kind of happens?
Well, content takes time to build. You got to be working with a company that's building good content. So,
Mm-hmm.
Eric, you guys can see at Nuturo, we help you guys here. You can see your organic leads come in, and that should
Mm-hmm.
be increasing month over month, right? If it's not increasing month over month, your company's not doing the right job, right? That takes time. It's trailing 12-month data. So when my girls create content and put it on your site, they try to put it out in front of a trend, not as the trend is happening, and certainly not behind the trend. So if a mosquito piece of content needs to go on your website in the month of July, they put that on your website in the month of May to give Google plenty of times to search through your site and remember that that content is there, so that when it becomes pertinent, it offers it up to the user. So that part takes time. LSA ads can be up and running. I think, according to the new changes with Google, it can take about 6 business days, as long as you give your digital marketing company all the stuff. Another thing there, I know some of our PCOs have learned about this. It hasn't happened in like an even way. It's not like a full stop yet, but you're going to have to start creating LSA profiles for wildlife if you haven't had to do that already. They're letting each of the companies know individually, but all of you know. I mean, how many of you PCOs have, and comment below, right? How many of you PCOs have been getting calls on your LSA line for wildlife, but you don't do wildlife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Google's trying to solve the problem. The problem is pest control is a type of wildlife control, and the other problem is most of you have pest control in your brand name, right?
Yep.
And so people are clicking on that ad all the time. It's some of Google's fault, it's some of our fault, some of your fault, but they're trying to fix it. So LSA is going to make pest control specific and wildlife specific, separate licensing, separate accounts. That's coming down the line too.
Oh,
Cool.
so
Yeah,
that'll take all of your. I got a
hopefully.
raccoon in my crawl space,
Yes.
ideally, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
hopefully.
those are really annoying ones that
Drive
take
you
up all your
nuts.
office time and everything else.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about this marketing conversation that we're having right now is that it, to me, feels like it's all about being proactive with your marketing, right? And having
Yep.
data to actually go off of.
Yes.
Um,
Not reactive.
yeah, you know, I mean, and you think about it from just a business perspective as a pest control owner. If you have historical data about product usage, about staffing, about technicians, about leads, about revenue, about profits, you know, you can go down the line and have historical data.
Yep.
You know, one of the ways that we actually project our growth year over year is from all of our historical data, right?
Yep.
Our
Exactly.
lead volume, the staffing that we have in the office, you know, intuitively as a business owner, you can guess at a lot of things, right?
Yep.
Just like you can guess at marketing if you really wanted to, right?
Sure.
But the data is powerful. And when you have historical data that you can use to actually influence what you're doing in the future or what you want to achieve in the future, now you're really cooking, right?
Yeah.
And just like anything
You've
else in
got a
your
roadmap.
business, yeah, you know,
You're not like
and
doing
if you
this. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, the blind
Yeah.
man walking, just looking,
Yeah.
hoping that you tap something like, oh, well, there's a sale. This is great. This is success. That's awesome. But
Exactly.
you know, if as some of the solo operators, and I appreciate what you said. You know, not every pest control owner out there has the money, the resources to go out and find a marketing partner, right? A qualified marketing partner.
Mhm.
Yep.
Um, but if you are an operator right now and you're doing your own marketing, you should be operating that part of your business in the same way that you'd operate any other part of your business, which is you are growing it to find someone to replace you in it, right?
That's
Um,
true.
if you're in a truck doing services, dude, the one thing on your mind should be, how do I grow my company so that I can get out of the truck,
Yep.
right? If you're the
Preach.
quality assurance manager, if you're the CMO, if you're the CFO, if whatever you are, right? You're trying to build and scale your business so that someone can come in and replace you. And from a
Yep.
marketing standpoint, dude, I remember when I first came into Natura, and technically I was the director of sales and marketing, right? And we actually had a third party marketing company at the time that I consulted with a lot, like I do with Lizard now. Um, but dude, like, there's just no way that I was able to do what I wanted to in the business and keep a line on every little thing that kept changing through Google, through all these other platforms. Um, so just a word of advice for all the owners that are out there that are still doing your own marketing, right?
Yeah.
Um, do yourself a big favor and figure out a way to get yourself out of that spot. And sometimes that growth is something you have to invest in the future before it's actually there. And the way
Oh,
that you can do it,
facts.
ironically, is by getting a marketing partner in there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I
So,
think a misconception with startups in particular is that money is their most precious resource. It's not. It's time. It's always
Right.
time.
yep.
And so, especially if you don't know what you're doing, don't invest a lot of time there. Don't invest a lot of time because you're wasting it and you're not prioritizing your time on things that you are better at and should be focused on in terms of growing your business. Because, for example, a good marketing company can generate leads. And how many times, Eric, have we talked about if you've got a crap sales team or your great aunt Methuselah answering the phone and can't
Mhm.
sell? That's where you need to be investing your time, not on marketing, right?
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's time is the most precious thing. And if we are, I guarantee you, if we are struggling to keep up with how Google changes things and when Google changes things or why they do it to change our operations to continue to cater well to our companies, then I guarantee you, people that aren't as informed, that aren't Google partners, that don't have access here, are a little bit further behind than
Well,
they
yeah, no,
should be.
I think we have talked to other PCOs, and I think this has been at times a topic of conversation where somebody like Eric says, you're a new PCO, maybe you've got one or two employees, and you're in the truck doing the services. Well,
Yeah,
if time is the constraint for you, and money is also a constraint, you got like these two constraints that are binding you up, right? You don't have the
yeah,
time and you don't have the money. Well, you don't have the money because you don't have the time. You don't have the
because you
time because you
don't
don't have
have
the
the
money,
time.
right? So it
Mhm.
becomes
Which
like
came
this.
first?
Yeah, it becomes this loop, right? And so I think that and this isn't necessarily a lizard conversation. This is just a conversation. I think a lot of people wonder, well, like, how do I get more time or how do I get more money? Well, sometimes in order to get more money, you have to find money from a place that has money, like a loan
Yep.
or whatever. And I think that a lot of business owners kind of get locked into this mindset. Maybe it's the mindset that business owners had 100 years ago, where they didn't really have to
Hmm.
take out loans. They just made the money. Then the money that they made grew the business. But
Yep.
but in the climate that we're in, it's such a competitive business.
Cutthroat.
It's
Yep.
cutthroat. And sometimes in order to get the money, to get the time, you have to take out a loan. And that's the leap of faith that's
Yeah.
hard for a lot of businesses, a lot of business owners. And it's oftentimes the constraint because you're stuck in this spot, right? Where you can touch everything at any given moment. You can reach out and touch anything. You can reach out and you can take anybody's spot in the business.
Hmm.
And in that instance, like Eric said, the idea is to grow the business so that you kind of in a way become irrelevant. The business
Yep.
can grow without you, can operate without you.
Yep.
And it might just be that in order to really grow the business, you might have to take out a loan or borrow money from somewhere and invest it into a fantastic marketing company, because that's the only way you're going to grow. And then as you grow, obviously you pay the loan back,
Mhm.
but then you're breaking that cycle. You're you're
Yeah.
you're creating an exit out of that roundabout.
I can give you some real numbers to back that play too. This is with a new partner that just came on with us recently.
Hit me.
It's in a crazy competitive market. I hate it when a new partner comes in. This is pet peeve. PCOs, just hear me out. Okay, be patient with me as we're patient with you. When a PCO comes in a dense competitive market and they've got like $2,500 to spend, I'm like, and they're needing miracles. I'm like, damn, here we go again. Right? It's July. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Your competitors are spending tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I got to make some miracles off 25. All right. This one company, their conversion costs right now, we all cheered. It's $45, and they've booked they've spent $1,005 and they booked 9 of their calls. Okay, so think about the money spent from that loan that you're talking about. Okay, they've scheduled 9 appointments, right? $550 contracts off a $45 spend. Okay, for that conversion. Now you can double that if you want to. I know Eric likes to. But I'm with you, buddy.
Aim high.
Aim high. Make it $90, right? If that's the acquisition cost. It took 2 of those calls because your sales team is 50-50, right?
Sure.
Took 2 of them, $90. If you can keep that customer for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, if you're doing it right, then you're looking at thousands of dollars in return for your $90 spend. Okay.
Right.
So it's money. You a good digital marketing company, you cannot go wrong. It is a gamble on both sides. You've got to vet your companies, know you're working with all that stuff. But I back your play. People that step in, but then step out, step in, step out, step in, step out, they're going to get in their own way. And the more that Google changes to be relevant, the more Google fights to spend money like Natura's, the more the companies that kind of play around with digital marketing are going to fall behind. And the companies that are taking it serious are going to accelerate forward. I guarantee you. Put money on it. But I know we may not have enough time. I wanted to touch on the one other piece to all of it, because you brought up keywords. Keywords is important. Keywords are what we put into the query, or what the lady on our phone says, or we say to her, right? Or him, whoever. The other piece is AI is teaching Google how we speak. Okay, because more people are talking to their device than are typing it in. It's not just teaching it how we speak; it's teaching Google the intent behind our speech. And so the content that's created, the local SEO content that's created, doesn't just have to be informed by keywords. It has to be structured according to speech tools. The 2 tools that Google uses. You have to forgive me because I can't remember the layout of the acronyms now, but BERT, you can look it up. BERT and MUM are the 2 that Google uses. Bidirectional encoder recording from transmissions, I think, is BERT.
That's what it is. Yeah, I remember from
that
my own research that.
I think I'm off it a little bit actually, but it uses these 2 tools to learn how we talk to our devices. And it's using that information because the majority of us, over 70% of us now, are using these more than we're using these things behind us to get what we're looking for. Okay. And we're also, more and more of us are talking to our devices, and Google's understanding this trend, and it's using AI to do the research for it. How do we speak, and what is the intent behind that speech? And the content that's created also has to be informed by those 2 factors. How do we speak? It's got to be how Matt Rogers speaks is how I want to create the content, because that's how Matt Rogers searched for the content, right? I want to use tools like BERT and MUM to help me understand the trends in speech, but then also understand the intent behind the speech. If I can understand those things, I can form this content well enough in such a way where I'm creating more opportunities to convert, as opposed to talking about the wrong thing in the wrong season in the wrong way at the wrong time and putting that content on my site and hoping that it works. So,
what do you mean by intent? What does that mean?
So think of it like a sales funnel, right? If I am looking for DIY ways to change up my living room, I'm not necessarily ready to shop for furniture or paint yet, right? And so intent lets Google know how close to the bottom of the funnel are we. If I start looking for, talking to the lady on my phone about Sherwin-Williams or paint colors, right? I'm closer to the bottom of the funnel, right? And that lets Google know when to serve an ad more efficiently, right? If I'm looking for a sectional that can go in my living room that I'm remodeling, and these are the brands I'm looking for. That's intent, right? That lets Google know, hey, they're in the market, so let's start serving ads like this, right? It's studying how we talk, and it's studying when intent is at the top of the funnel and when intent is at the bottom of the funnel, so it can get better and better about using our ads. Because some of your PCOs might already know this about LSA. We are slowly, not all of us, but some of us are losing the ability to dispute our ads. Have you guys noticed this on your accounts yet?
We talked a
I
little
should
bit about
actually know
this,
that. Yep.
but yeah, I mean, LSA is changing, and LSA is always kind
Changing.
of, I feel like it's been slowly on this downhill
Yeah.
curve of how much I
It's
like
on its way back
LSA.
up. Yeah, I
But
know. It's on its way. Trust me. Put money on it, right? Invest in Bitcoin. No, don't. But
well, I feel
get
like
ahead
this
of
is
this.
this is a total side note. I
Yeah.
had a meeting with my Lizard account manager yesterday, and we
Oh,
were talking
Cameron.
about how much better LSA has actually been performing just this month,
Yep.
and how much more we've
Yep.
been leveraging that, which has actually been really
Yep.
cool. So, little love to LSA where credit is
Hey,
due.
shout out. Yeah.
Thank you, LSA.
So yeah, that those things are important. So you've got keywords that should inform your content, you've got speech that should inform your content, and then you've got intent that should inform your content. And those are the things that you're loaded. That content is what you're loading up to your profile, and that's what's allowing your maps to start serving those LSA ads. So PCOs, keep an eye on it. It's a big deal. It's going to change. LSAs are going to become cheaper. That's my prediction, because there's more
Yes.
places to serve them now, and the quality of them is going to get better. That's what I think.
That's
Love it, dude.
nuts.
I'm keep my fingers crossed because when LSA first came out, it was the bee's
It's like,
knees, and
yeah,
I would
it's
love
like
for it to be that
the
again.
Wild West. Yes,
Yeah.
it's like,
Let's
yeah, it's
go.
like the gold rush. It was great.
Yeah,
Well,
that
you
was
know,
awesome.
for PCOs too, I mean, this illustrates a principle that we firmly, totally believe in growing your business, and that is if somebody if somebody can perform a task that's a necessary task in growing your business, and somebody else can perform it way better than you do, figure out a way to get that person into that spot, right? Even if it means borrowing money
Yeah,
or whatever it is, right?
that and get the freak out of their way, dude.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
Let them
Yep.
do their thing.
Yep.
Well, Matt, this has been an awesome conversation, as always,
Yeah,
dude. Love having
absolutely.
the unofficial third co-host on the show.
Yes, I need a
Um,
T-shirt.
so if people want to get in touch with you, if they want to check out Marketing Mindset, give us the deets, give us the
Yep.
details on how they can
You
get
can
in touch
hit,
with you.
yeah, marketing mindset. You can, if you haven't, Paul Gianamore has been putting out a ton of content. He's cranking it up to Potomac TV on YouTube. Mergers and acquisitions, how to organize your books, how to get your EBITDA right, and how to market for businesses, how to, deal with things like operations and people's experiences. Great storytelling from PCOs all over the world, right? Check it out. That's one place. And then just
Love
hit us up, lizardmarketing.co. If we can answer all your questions. You got a link down there to meet with us. We can talk about business, all that kind of good stuff.
Awesome. Matt, this has been great. Of course, we're going to have you on again as
Number
how could
9.
we not? So, yeah, number 9.
Number
Gotta have
9.
it. Everybody else out there, thank you so much for taking the time to listen in. If you have a coworker, a manager, or an owner who could benefit from listening to this episode, the best way to say thank you to us is to share this episode with them. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, go find the group and join. BugBucks Plus, of course. Lots of information and great connections there. And if you have a topic you want discussed here on the show, drop it in the group. As always, this episode is brought to you by BugBucks Plus, the #1 training and education platform designed to help you build and scale your pest control company. Visit bugbucksplus.com to sign up and start building today. And of course, don't forget
Don't forget to hit the. Oh, you caught me off guard. I was waiting to say it. Don't forget to hit to I can't even say it now. Eric, why don't you
Say it.
say
Yeah,
it?
hang on. We'll give you another one.
Okay.
Visit bugbucksplus.com to sign up and start building today. And don't forget.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah. Thanks again for listening in. Until next time, keep building those pest control companies.
You're listening to the Bug Bucks Podcast, hosted by Eric Bassett and Jake Klaus.